It's Saturday the 18th of January in the Vendée Globe, the skipper's 69th day at sea, and it's been a difficult time for Jean Le Cam, whose J2 cable has snapped. But he has found time to feed a bird, which has landed on his deck, and he gave it some water just to help it on its way. We've got the celebrations of Seb Simon as he finished in third place in Le Sable d'Olonne, and then Conrad Colman talks us through his tactics as he makes his way up the South Atlantic towards the equator, and also talks through the J2. We've heard a huge amount about J2's failing on boats, and he talks through what it is, how it's held up, why it's so important, and also some of the spares he carries just in case there is a problem. We then take a look at the tracker, the leaderboard, and then conclude with an update from Oliver Heer, who is stuck in a bit of a wind hole.
Sébastien Simon, Groupe de Broye, crosses the finish line. Bravo to Sébastien. The locally based skipper finished his flight round the world during the night. Sébastien Simon's name now figures in third place on the Vendée Globe finish board. 67 days, 12 hours, 25 minutes and 37 seconds. It was an eventful flight with a boat missing a foil like a plane without a wing. People quickly forget the low points, and there certainly have been some. I nearly lost hope when the foil broke, but I'm not one to give up. When Groupe de Broye entered the legendary Les Sables d'Olonne channel, throngs of supporters were there to greet him. For me, Les Sables is home. I'm glad to be back, and I'm moved by the amazing welcome. Fasten your seat belts, ready for takeoff.
What's up?
Today, I've a third place in the Vendée Globe. It belongs to everyone here in blue. The De Broyes, their family, the employees lining the channel. My friends are also there, and my team, which worked like mad to get this boat ready. Sebastian's ready to set off again on this holy grail of races. The Vendée Globe is a fabulous race. It's mine and nobody else's. This race is in my blood. It only makes me want to come back in 4 years' time. As Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said in The Little Prince, time is nothing but a path between two moments. Sébastien Simon's path lies between two Vendée Globe races.
Hi there! Isn't this a crazy place to hang out? I'm currently standing on the bowsprit underneath the Code Zero. And I know it feels silly, but it's just such a cool place to come and hang out because it's so rare, it's so improbable to be hanging out up here. It's fun. So of course I'm clipped on with my spin lock harness, and I just wanted to show you the beauty of the blue. It's so pretty. We've got this incredible color of the sea right here, sparkling in the sun, and then just the sky that just goes on forever. Hello! So I think we can say that the Vendée Globe is certainly a race of contrasts, because when you consider the freezing cold and the rage of the Southern Ocean in contrast to this 10 to 12 knots on a reach in the tropics, Code Zero, full main, easy peasy. The French have a funny expression to explain this, and that is that something is super easy, it's fingers in the nose, doigt dans le nez. So this is not champagne sailing, this is navigation à la doigt dans le nez. I have no idea as to the etymology of that expression. Please look that up for me, because it doesn't make any sense to me. Presumably, if you can do it with your fingers in your nose, then you don't have to concentrate too hard. But please, go look up the source of that expression for me. I have no idea. So it's pretty cool. The solar panels are kicking out the watts. Still, I don't know how many days we are into this race now. Obviously 60 something, but I don't know, 68 days or something. Still have not turned on the engine. So full solar, full hydro, although really just full solar. That's doing the job here. That's what's been running the boat. I haven't used a hydro generator in more than 2 weeks. So it's incredible. Just doigt on there. Solar power, don't need to think about it. The energy is always there. It's fantastic. And then in terms of the race, well, we've finally got wind solidly from the east. Last night was a little bit tricky. I had some from the northeast, and that meant that I was sailing on a really tight angle to try and maintain the direction northwards. Tanguy and Benjamin are 140, 150 miles ahead of me, and obviously I'm doing everything that I can in terms of maintaining the boat at the highest level of its performance, but it's going to be tough to track them down, both because they're good sailors on really fast boats, and also because as the wind goes from east to southeast and takes us into the doldrums, well, that freeing, that opening of the angle is going to favor them first. So while I'm sailing on a tighter angle, they're sailing on a freer, faster angle, and likely to extend a little bit. Obviously, we've still got many thousands of miles to go, and I'm looking for every opportunity to get back at them, but it's not so easy. I'm a little bit sad for Jean Le Cam, obviously having his J2 stay, and obviously getting stuck in the light winds has taken him out of contention for the moment. And yeah, my heart goes out to him. It's insane to have a J2 cable break like that. Obviously very stressful, and obviously has a big impact on his race. So I'm sorry for him. Many sailors have had problems with their J2, this sail and this cable, and that can be the problem with the furler itself. This one here is rated to 12 tons. Working load, so 24 tons brake load, so normally there's not an issue there. Got this massive Dyneema lashing here, going on to 2 titanium thimbles that can hold a lot of load. So normally there's not an issue there. These are really nice pieces, so no friction. And then we've got this crazy cable here that is 20 mil thick, and that's the cable that broke on Jean. And then other sailors have had issues with the swivel or the hook up there, and so what you can see is I've got 3 cables up at the moment: the Code 0, the J2, and the J3. And to maximize the security of the rig, I've already talked about this, but this is the chicken stay. This is the stay that I put up in the place of the Code 0 sail when I don't need the sail. And so that sits up there, and in the case of a failure of the J2 chain, then that will hold the rig up and keep it safe. And then also, in the case that I did lose or break a cable, then I've always got this one here. So you can see my team is prepared. 12 mil Dyneema with a brake load of almost 13 tons, 40 meters. In 2016, I used this the same piece of rope to save my rig because I had a forestay failure, and I had to splice a new one to keep the rig up, and that's what kept me going back then. And ever since, I always take this massive 12 mil piece of Dyneema with me wherever I go at sea, because I know that in the case of any significant need, I can replace any bit of standing rigging on the boat.
On the tracker, we can see the group between 4th and 13th place are currently in the North Atlantic, and you can start to see this developing low pressure system towards the American coast, and it's coming in from the west, and it'll track across to the east, across the Azores. Now, if we zoom in on the leaders, we first of all got Sam Goodchild there, who is in the lead, and he is holding an 11.8 nautical mile lead over Jeremy Bayou, who is in 5th place. And then we've got Paul Mielhat in 6th, who is 72 nautical miles further back, with Nico Lundven in 7th place, 143 nautical miles behind Sam Goodchild. Justine Matreau continues to hold 8th place, ahead of Thomas Rouillon, who is just slightly further to the west. As to how these two, when they start to converge, as to who is ahead, we will have to wait and see. Boris Herman, with the problems with his portfoil, a broken portfoil, continues to drop back a bit and is in danger of being caught by both Benjamin Dutroux and Clarice Kramer. And also Sam Davis, who isn't too far behind at all. If we zoom back out, let's take a look at that weather system as it develops. If we go forward to 22 hours, we can see it moving across towards the Azores. It's after this point at 43 hours, we can see it really starting to deepen. Those purples are the winds where it starts to get up to 45, 50 knots. And if we go forward 64 hours, we can see how it's right across the Azores, making its way towards that Spanish coastline. And at 79 hours, and this is when they're going to be there, it's all the way across between the Azores and also, say, Gibraltar. And so that is going to be a difficult situation for the skippers. For the group, who are in 14th onwards, it's led by Roman Atanasio, who continues to pull away from his pursuers. He's now got over 400-mile lead over Damien Seguin. And if we look back, we can see that Conrad Colman is now up to 20th place. He is just to the west at the moment, and he has overtaken both Alain Rura and Jean Le Cam, who has that problem with his J2. The leaderboard at 0200 hours UTC shows us our 3 finishers, Charlie Dalin, Johan Richomme and Seb Simon, and that amazing new record of Dalin's of 64 days, 19 hours, 22 minutes, 49 seconds. Of those still racing, in 4th place, Sam Goodchild, an excellent 24-hour average speed, 11.97 knots, which is quite a bit quicker than Jeremy Bayou behind him, 11.15 knots. And then we've got Paul Mielhat, Nico Lundven, Justine Matreau, Thomas Rouillon. Justine and Thomas both going very well. Their average speed's excellent, but Boris Herman noticed 9.42 knots, really hampered by the lack of that foil. And Benjamin Dutroux, Clarice Kramer and Sam Davis just behind, all making excellent speeds. So it looks like he will be caught by that pack.
Hello, it's Ollie on board Tut Gut on day 69 of the Vendée Globe, and as I mentioned yesterday, I sailed into a wind hole early morning today. There was nothing I could do. I'm kind of limited by the ice limit that's still just to my right, so there's no real way of sailing around it. But the nice thing is it's nice and warm. It's almost 15 degrees on the boat, and it's like a proper relief to just enjoy some sunshine and the warmth. Yes, as I mentioned yesterday, I got my big masthead Cheneker up, as it's almost downwind at the moment. But I still have the J1 up as well as the J2 and J3, so kind of all my light wind sails are up and ready to go. But because it's so nice weather, also managed for the first time to open my hatches and air the boat out a little bit. And even though it's like a mirror outside, there is, we're still going at like 3 or 4 knots. That's a good thing about having a mast that's 30 meters high. Quite often at the very top you still find a little bit of wind. But now the next job that I have to do is tidy up my cockpit. Happens when you do a sail change at night. Pretty much utter chaos. So I'll have to sort out this mess next. Well, even though I was never too keen on hitting this wind hole, and the boats behind me will catch up because it's quite a sharp cutoff from where you have wind to no wind, and the boats behind me will catch up with me, I'm sure. But that's life. I'll try to make the best out of it, tidy up the boat, air out the boat, do a couple of little jobs, ready for the further ascent of the South Atlantic in pretty much light wind, so it definitely won't be the last wind hole that I'm hitting. Everyone, have a great Friday, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers, bye-bye.
Thank you for watching today. We'll continue to bring you the latest Vendée Globe news while I'm at Boot Dusseldorf. Please do subscribe to our channel using the button down here, and take a look at sailworld.com and yachtsandyachting.com for all the latest news in the world of sailing.